Hey, welcome to Genre Exposure, a film podcast. Join us as we explore the wide world of cinema, broaden our horizons one movie at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Dustin, and as usual, I am here with Jason.
Hey, everybody.
What is up, my dude?
Hanging in there, watching a couple of movies. October, I think we were just talking about this, how neither of us managed to watch our target number of horror films for October.
I'm very disappointed in myself.
Life gets in the way.
But I'm going to say quality over quantity, maybe, this time?
Maybe.
We'll see. No, the last ones I watched were not good. So. But I had an interesting Halloween night. We'll get into that and other stuff we've been watching. Today, we are talking about Urotsukidoji, Legend of the Overfiend. From 1989, originally a series of OVAs released in the mid-'80s and then compiled into a theatrical feature. One of the most infamous anime of all time, I'm going to say, maybe?
I'd say so, yes.
And we'll get into all of that, and there'll be a big trigger warning before we start discussing it, because it's got some heavy subjects this time on this episode.
It's absolutely not for kids.
Absolutely not for kids. This isn't your parents' Disney animation. I love to reference that commercial.
Yeah, it's great.
I am going to put it in the show notes again, too.
Awesome.
But first, we are part of the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, and we love it. And there's all these other cool shows besides ours you could be listening to. So swing on by there, check out our network page, look at all the other cool shows, find you some cool stuff to listen to bring some joy to your life, and help you get through the day, and maybe find some movies that you want to go check out yourself.
Do it.
Now, that being said, what have you been watching, my friend?
Okay. So I watched the remake of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Oh, yeah, I saw this advertised.
Yeah. Now, normally this is something I would not bother with, honestly. But it has pod favorite Micah Monroe in it.
Oh, well, put on the watch list. Done.
She plays the titular hand that rocks the cradle.
Okay.
Now, this one is... It did... It's basically just a setup. It doesn't really remake the original that much. Because in the original, I think she was trying to get with the dude. Yeah. And all this stuff and, become the wife or whatever.
And this was, direct to streaming or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's on Hulu. But this one's there's a bit more going on in this one. There is some of that, but not nearly. It's not like an erotic thriller or anything.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But
where has my erotic thriller gone?
Yeah, it's true. But Micah is great in it, as always. She plays a good villain. I've never really seen her as a straight-up villain before, I think.
That's cool.
So this is different.
She's got range.
She does.
Give her awards.
So even if you're not, you might think this is like a female-centric, horror flick thriller type thing.
Sure.
And sure it is. Not like that's a bad thing. But it's not like it's not a cheap Lifetime movie. It's pretty good. There's some twists and turns, some good performances, some good violence, especially toward the end.
Cool.
Directed by Michelle Garza Cervera. I don't know what else she has done. I just wanted to go ahead and shout out the director there. She did that movie Hisura, the Bone Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Which has been on my queue forever, but I haven't watched it.
It's on my watch list on multiple things, and I've still not watched it.
Okay, I'm going to go back and watch that soon. Then I'll report back.
Cool.
But I recommend it. It's not like a gore fest. It's not anything original. It's not uber surprising, but it's a good solid. You know what? It's a good couples kind of thriller horror flick, because it's one I got my wife to watch.
Oh, okay.
So it's good to get in that way.
Okay.
You could do a lot worse.
You can include your significant other.
You can.
Unlike our film for today.
Well, that depends on how cool your significant other is. The other one I watched, I hung out with my buddy Marty this weekend, and he said he really liked this movie. He said he liked it more than Weapons.
Uh-oh.
Now, I must preface this by saying...
Bold claim.
Yeah. But I got to preface this by saying that my friend Marty is insane. But this is a found footage movie called Project MKHEXE. HEXE. Which I'd never heard of before.
Was there an Asylum Films logo in the intro?
I mean, there could have been.
Project Hex?
It came out this year, but I haven't heard jack shit about it. But I think he watched it on the Roku channel. So then he said, hey, you should watch this. So I watched it with him.
What was the title again?
Project MKHEXE. MKHEXE. MKHEXE.
Oh, okay, I found it now. Okay.
Now, it's not a bad premise because it's about this brother. His younger brother had committed suicide, so he is trying to find out why. And he left this trail, this investigation he was doing. He was becoming obsessed with this urban legend, this conspiracy theory about Project MKX, which yes, sounds a lot like Project MK Ultra.
Sure.
So there may or may not be like aliens involved and stuff like that. Which is probably why my buddy liked this so much because he's really big into that whole alien thing. But it's one of those movies. It's not badly made.
Uh-oh. Only 2 of my friends on Letterboxd have rated it, and one of them is you.
Yes. What did the other rate it?
3 stars.
Oh, being
Continue.
generous. Being generous. One, it's way too long, at an hour and 53 minutes.
That's 2 hours.
No found footage movie needs to be that long. And it's a lot of very repetitious. You're getting the same information over and over and over again. It's really hitting you over the head. But in the first 5 minutes, if you've seen that many horror films, you know exactly what's going on.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a big Cthulhu ripoff, more or less. It's about this signal that will like summon an entity and shit like that, which you get immediately in the first 5 minutes. So it's not surprising. It's not really that original. I cannot recommend it.
Oh,
even if you're like, it could have been good. I think the filmmaker has some potential. So keep an eye on him.
Sure.
But it's way too long. Way too long. He could have cut easily 20 or 30 minutes out of this.
I find we can talk about this. You and I are found footage connoisseurs.
Yeah, I love found footage.
I think found footage works better the shorter the runtime.
Yes,
almost.
absolutely. Yeah. 90 minutes.
I feel like there's this mythical plateau where once you go so far, the illusion starts to crumble around you, and you start questioning the found footageness of it.
I completely agree. Yep.
Interesting.
And this one really overstays its welcome. If it were tighter, better edited, I probably would have given it at least half a star more. But yeah, it's just, oof. Dude's got to kill his darlings,
And that can be hard.
Yeah, well. Anyway, those are my watches.
Oh, okay.
How about you? What have you seen lately?
So I have to pay off from last time. I said I was going to go through the whole Hell House LLC franchise.
Oh, Jesus.
And indeed I did.
I warned you.
Yeah.
Because this fucker comes back to me saying, oh, the second one wasn't that bad. And I'm like, dude, really? And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to wind up loving this series.
Okay, so let's roll into it. Second one, 2018's Hell House LLC 2, The Abaddon Hotel. Same director on all of these, by the way.
Yeah.
So props for that. I'm going to say second one, not that bad. I gave it like a 3-star. I really like it at the start. And it's kind of doing still like the part found footage, part documentary thing that the first film did. And this one kind of blows it up even more, where there's now you have big news reports and they're investigating what happened and missing people and trying to dig into the history of the hotel and all these side paths that are kind of dangling from the first film. And I thought that part was really cool and really engaging. And I like the way they switched formats so often, where they would talk about something for a bit and you get a lore drop. And then they're like, okay, now let's cut to this footage that someone shot. And then you're boom, in a little found footage segment doing that, and then popping back out to another talking head. And that whole construction was real cool.
Okay.
And so I liked the lore drops. I liked the build up. I was like, this is going somewhere kind of cool. And then you cross the halfway point, and they start trying to unfold what the plan is with this whole franchise. And it fucking falls apart. So you get all this stuff that the original owner, Andrew Tully, he's this occultist, he's into magic, and he had this cult that he surrounded himself with, and it has to do with summoning demons and all this other nefarious evil stuff. And then you get these really dumb twists in the story of the guy who led the Hell House LLC team knew Tully, and he was the one that he rented the house from, and it kind of implies that he was implicit in knowing there was this occult shit going on, but not really.
Yeah.
And it really, really hurts the first film.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of ways, because it makes him even more of an asshole, which put a pin in, because I will come back to complain about in a later film. And then it just fucking falls apart at the end with the dude who plays Tully. I mean, he's a good actor, I'm going to say, but for the tone of this film, he is not good.
No.
Oh god, I'm not even gonna try to find him in the credits. There's so many people.
It's fine.
Where there's all the talking heads, but he's so like over the top and very like, I'm so evil and
right.
And God, it's so dumb. It's just so fucking dumb.
And those effects at the end, it just takes me right out.
Really terrible.
There is nothing worse in a found footage movie than shitty CG.
Yeah.
Avoid it at all costs.
Just totally turn the camera away and just let it go. And I started to notice in that final, like maybe last 20 minutes or so, they really started to go like into the sequelizing mode where they knew they were going to make more and they had to start dropping breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
So like 20 different times, the Tully guy mentions a lake of fire. Yeah. He's like, we're making our own lake of fire. Mm-hmm. So I finished that and I'm like, man, I don't know. That seems like that might be the only one that was any account after the first. And that's stretching it. Mm-hmm. Well, let me look up the third one. What's the third one? Oh, Hell House LLC 3, Lake of Fire.
Oh, wait, that's the one with the crappy CG.
Yeah. And then I was just like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So let's move right along then to Lake of Fire from 2019. This is about a year after the events of the second film. And they were going to tear down the Abaddon Hotel. But a wealthy philanthropist billionaire named Russell Wynn comes in and purchases the property. Mm-hmm. And he is known for putting on these like very elaborate play performances where he takes like a classic play and reinterprets it into this like living world space where it's almost like a haunt that you walk through.
I hated this so much.
But as you walk through the haunt, you experience the story of the play unfolding before your very eyes as if you were there in the room.
Yeah.
And that,
I think it's more akin to dinner theater myself, but
sure. And so that's why he wants the Abaddon Hotel, because he's like, oh, it was set up to be this cool haunt, and we can reuse all the sets and do the story of Faust. I think they call it, what, Insomnia instead?
I think so, yeah.
But it's the story of Faust, and he invites a journalist, Vanessa Shepard, and her crew to come and document the performance and clear up any lingering questions about there being anything wrong with the hotel, because there's absolutely not.
Right.
And so that's kind of your hook. And immediately these people are just like wacky-dacky. Like the Russell guy is fucking insane. Just complete and totally unhinged. You think he's supposed to be the villain, and then surprise twist at the end, he's actually not the villain, which is weird. And you've got this crew, and they're preparing for the play, and then weird things keep happening, and everyone's like, oh, I want to quit, it's not cool, and he's trying to keep it together, and it's barely holding on, and there's a lot of dirtling in this one, where they don't really forward the main, like, plot of the mystery plot.
Right.
And it all boils down into this crazy finale, where they have the Insomnia performance the opening night, and just like the opening night of Hell House, various creatures come forth and things go crazy and people start dying. And it's not the same gravitas as before. Like, in the first film, it's so creepy the way it all boils down. But in here, it's like they're in the part that's supposed to be like the little bar area.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like two characters talking. I think it's supposed to be, Mephistopheles and the other guy. Is it Faust? Faust, yeah.
Yeah. Faust.
Not up on my Faust lore right now.
It's okay.
Been a while. And they're like having this whole like philosophical debate about their deal that they made, and then just out of nowhere, fucking Andrew Tully walks in and starts like fucking playing up to the crowd and like cheesing about everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, we got our lake of fire. Here it comes again. And then everything goes crazy. Lots of stuff's happening off camera, and people are dying. And then we just get the most batshit ending, where the main chick is like brought down into the basement, because the basement's the epicenter of everything. Mm-hmm. We learn that that's where the portal is that goes into hell or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so it's like they're opening the portal. Andrew Tully's like summoned it, and the flames are coming out, and it's like, oh, demon time. And then you just hear a voice be like, no! And someone rushes in. I didn't even know who it was because it's so dark at that point. But it is Russell, the wealthy philanthropist billionaire.
Yes.
Who knew about all of this.
Yeah, right.
And had worked and connived with one of the priests of the local Catholic Church to do a sort of counter ritual to stop the evil plans of Andrew Tully and exorcise the Abaddon Hotel.
Right.
And he engages Andrew Tully in mortal combat as Vanessa screams in terror, and then suddenly everything like whooshed, and the portal closes and everything is gone. Vanessa's like the sole survivor, and she kind of wanders out disturbed. Which is okay, I guess, until the credits roll, and you get one of the most painful post-credit scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Where it picks back up in the hotel, but it's completely dressed down. It's daylight. There's nothing spooky or creepy about it. And the original cast, the members of Hell House LLC, all kind of just turn up there. And you quickly realize that they're ghosts, and they have no way to get out, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're just kind of in this limbo state. And they're very, very confused. And then very benevolently, almost like an angel figure, this billionaire dude Russell shows up again and like freaking plot dumps what happened, which is like, oh, you were deceived by Andrew Tully and he made you open the portal to start letting the evil out. But what I did when I came in was to close the portal. And what you started, I have now finished, and now it is all resolved, and it's time for us to move on. And then he just fucking vanishes.
Yeah.
And so I think it's supposed to be this like poignant emotional scene where they realize that they're dead and accept what's going on and like go into the afterlife.
Yeah.
But it's just really fucking lame.
It's so cheesy and stupid.
It's so lame. And then the biggest offending thing is the person who's the most tore up is the main guy that ran the group, that in the second film we were told made the deal with Tully to get the hotel.
Right.
When he knew all this evil shit was going on.
Yeah. And he should probably be going to hell.
He should be going to hell. But then, like, we get this whole scene where he, like, starts fucking crying about the fact that he's dead, and the girlfriend has to, like, comfort him for a moment and, like, hug it out before they're like, oh, okay. And then they all kind of decide to walk off camera into
They really move into the light.
Yeah, they move into the light. And I was just like, man, what a fucking lame ending.
Yeah.
Well, just, goddamn, dude.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
It was.
But I was like, okay, it's done, though. We can let it sit. Except we can't let it sit, because then it was followed up a few years later. I guess that one was enough of a blow that it took them a minute to get the wheels rolling again. But 2023, we have Hell House LLC Origins, the Carmichael Manor. And so this one, not unlike every other film, is a found footage-y kind of thing. And it's about a group that does kind of a true crime, cold case investigator-y type thing. Mm-hmm. And they're focusing on a thing called the Carmichael Manor, where there were some grisly unsolved murders there in the 80s. And they decide they're going to go in and film it and like document everything that happened, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's basically, its whole existence is to extend the lore of Hell House LLC, but it does it in the most haphazardly dumb way possible. So we know we have this city called Abaddon. Mm-hmm. It's a rural New York town. And it has the Abaddon Hotel, and that was the site of everything, and Tully had his cult there, blah, blah, blah. So now we start to pull the lens back on this world. And nearby to Abaddon, there is a, like, county fair that happens regularly. And then that county fair is now important, and there's stories of in the 80s, like, some people went missing there, and it had some real creepy clowns that were there.
Yeah.
Including one that suspiciously looks like the prop dummy they made in the first film that continues to animate and come after people.
Right.
Now, how they knew to make a dummy that looked just like a real person that existed in the 80s, I'm not sure. And they never acknowledge it or try to talk about that.
It wasn't like they get into the hotel and they find all these mannequin dummies just there, and they're like, oh, wow, great, we can use these for the haunt.
Or even like a newspaper clipping or a photo, and they're like, hey, let's base it on this guy. This looks cool.
It was a really good, great, creepy scare, and then they just can't let it go.
Right.
They have to blow it up into some epic proportions.
Now, the property where this carnival takes place in another neighboring town is backed up on the property of the Carmichael Manor. Mm-hmm. And so it's all this dumb, like, threading through where you learn that, like, there was, like, this thing with these drunk drivers, and they killed, like, one of the daughters of the Carmichael family, and it, like, ravaged the family, and they were very upset, and one of the brothers, like, went and joined Tully's cult because he thought that Tully could bring her spirit back and reunite them, and it just... blah, 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 blah.
Nothing is worse than over-explaining your lore.
Yeah.
Especially when you have just this nice little simple found footage movie, and you're trying to make it into this big epic thing, and it's, dude, it's not there, And
that's really my problem, because as painful as Lake of Fire was, it did end it. That was a definitive ending. Everything felt explained.
I thought the first movie had an ending, but I guess not.
Everything felt explained to the point that it needed to be. There was nothing more to add. There was nothing more to explain or question. It was done. And then this film does nothing but make new things that sometimes even contradict what you already know to thus extend it. Now, other than that one whole aspect, which is a big thing, technically, I think it's the best sequel of the bunch as far as like cinematography, the actual scares.
Yeah, that's not saying much, but yes.
The quality of the writing and the acting and the performances, it's probably the best sequel.
I agree.
Now, if you can kind of just take it as like a thing all on its own, maybe you can appreciate it, but in the scope of the franchise, it's very frustrating. Which brings us to the bitter end. Came out this year, debuted on Shudder, Hell House LLC Lineage. This one immediately makes the controversial decision to not be found footage.
So you're breaking with the whole thing you've set up. And...
now, I think I'm okay with the idea of that, but what you're doing has to like warrant that change.
Yeah, I'm not okay with it. I'm really not. I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Like, I think Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, I think it earns not being found footage, though it actually has multiple found footage segments within it. The idea that they had, like, you couldn't have told that story through found footage, I don't think, just because of the things that happen in it and the way it plays with your perception of what they think happened and what actually happened.
Sure, but also that movie's a famous bomb, so I mean,
it's a famously pretty good movie in old Dustin's book.
I think it's fine. It's not as bad as as a lot of people say it is, but also it was
better than
it was a big misstep after the original.
Better than Blair Witch, I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
The other sequel.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the original. I was about to flip this table over.
No, the one where they show you the witch and then they backpedaled and said, "No, that's not the witch."
No, I hate it. No, I hated that reboot or whatever it was.
Yeah, really bad. But so Lineage, we pick back up with Vanessa Shepherd. She's now a broken woman who's been so disturbed by her experiences witnessing the Lake of Fire.
Sure.
That she decided to drop everything and move to Abaddon and just kind of linger in the city because it bothers her.
Okay.
And she kind of wants to like find the truth and get it out there, but she doesn't know how to go about it. Mm-hmm. And so the start of it's really slow with like just her life, and she's going to therapy, and her therapist sucks and doesn't even want to entreat the idea of what happened. And it begins to escalate though as one of the therapist's other patients is the cameraman from Lake of Fire, and then he mysteriously turns up dead. Which links Vanessa up with some other people that have been investigating the Carmichael Manor stuff from the prior film. And it all kind of blends together as they're trying to uncover the true truth of what's going on. And of course, what's really going on is more dumb than you could imagine. I'm going to go ahead and spoil it here.
Please do.
So, God, dude. To even utter it is like weird feeling. The Carmichaels, there was a truck with 5 people, and they were all drunk, and they hit the girl and kill her.
Okay.
So then the family's upset. They go to Tully. They want vengeance on the people that killed her. And so they have like a curse cast to like basically destroy those family lines of the 5 people that were in that vehicle. And then a huge swath of the film is them systematically showing you how everyone that's ever been killed in the whole franchise is either part of the bloodline of one of those 5 people or very closely related in some way, like they started dating or they got married or that kind of thing. And so the whole time it's just been a curse that tried to draw people to the hotel to kill them to get revenge for what they did back in the 80s. And the reason for the ghost thing is because that was like one of the Carmichaels worked at the carnival and was the clown. And I don't know. I can't even explain it at this point.
What is wrong with it just being a cult used this property to summon demons, and then the Hell House guys accidentally raised them and brought forth, and a bunch of people died, and that's the end. And then why can't we just have one good movie and people fucking stop?
And they have these scenes where like the ghosts of the Carmichaels like talk to one another and scheme, and they talk about how like, oh no, the only way to reverse the curse is like for there to be survivors of the bloodlines, and they could do a ritual.
It's terrible.
And, of the 5 people in the truck, one of them was like psychic or something. And so like through her bloodline, they have the ability to overturn the curse. And that turns out to be Vanessa. But then we find out she also has a secret brother that she never knew she had. And literally the end of the film is like, there's a separate storyline where there's like another investigator chick and she goes and gets that priest that helped the billionaire awesome dude. And
It's all billionaires notoriously awesome.
And like she tries to rope him in to exorcise the Carmichael to get rid of the spirits, and then he learns that he can't do it because it has to be one of them that's the special ones. And then they have this revelation there's only 2 people left now that can do it. And so one of those is Vanessa. And she finally has all the info, and she's like, oh, I have to go to the proper spot where the curse was made to do the thing to undo it, which she's been seeing in her dreams. And it's not the Abaddon, and it's not the Carmichael Manor, but it's a third like wooden shack building with a black cross on it that is somewhere on the property between the Carmichael property, the festival grounds, and the Abaddon. I would love to see a map of this area. And so literally the final scene of the film is like there's this lingering thing that there might be one other person that could help her, but who could it be? And so she is going, and she kind of goes to the Carmichael Manor, and she finds out that those other people died. It's like, oh, okay, I gotta get serious, and I think I know where the shack is, so I'm gonna go there now. And so she's determinedly walking into the woods to go for the shack. And as she's going, there's like a gust of wind, and then like boof through the trees. Oh, who's that guy with a hoodie on? And he's got his hood up, and you don't know who he is. And then he turns around and he pulls down his hood, and oh my God, you don't know who that is. Roll credits. And then you say, what the fuck just happened? And then you look back into the Wikipedia to understand what happened, and when you do, you realize that that man was the only remaining surviving member of Hell House LLC that escaped in the first film. And he actually is the long-lost secret brother of the Vanessa chick. The 2 people who could break the curse now assembled together in the same spot. And the film ends. Roll credits.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's just
It was supposed to be the final one. It ends on a cliffhanger.
Are you supposed to recognize this guy?
I guess you're supposed to. I guess that
Was he reintroduced in this movie? Or are you supposed to think all the way back to the first one?
You're supposed to think all the way back to the first one.
Are you fucking serious?
They maybe mention in passing in like one of the news clips that, he survived and was like the sole survivor of the original massacre, blah, blah, blah.
How much attention do these people think you're paying to these movies?
Yeah, so I watched these about one a day, back to back, and I didn't know who he was.
Jesus
I had to look it up to be like, why is this important, and why did they like linger on him and make like a stinger sound?
Dum, dum, dum.
God, it was so dog shit. I can't.
Well, I'm going to avoid watching that one. I watched all the others. I don't know why, but I fucking did.
You don't need to. It doesn't resolve anything. It doesn't explain anything.
Oh, God. Not to leave that on too negative of a tone, I really love the first one.
The first one is an all-time classic.
It's a great, solid found footage Halloween time horror flick. Loved it. Mm-hmm. Just don't watch the sequels. If you haven't seen any of these movies, just watch the first one. Because none of the sequels change anything. It doesn't matter.
No.
The first one is great. Just watch it. I wish the filmmaker had gone on and done something else.
So yeah, there you go. I ran through the whole Hell House LLC franchise. It was not worth my time.
You suffered for others. They won't have to.
Oh God, I hope they don't make another one.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Just let it die.
Yeah.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies. Hell House dies tonight.
That being said, let's talk about our actual movie for the day. All right, so today we are talking about the theatrical film version of Urotsukidoji, Legend of the Overfiend, from 1989, directed by Hideki Takayama, and originally it was based from a manga that was written and illustrated by Toshio Maeda.
Yep.
Now, let's pause and give a trigger warning for everybody.
Yeah.
This franchise is super explicit, is intended only for adults. The original film was given, like an NC-17 rating here in the U.S., I think?
Correct.
All kinds of nastiness, tons of gore, body mutilation, body horror.
Sexual assault.
There is sexual assault, there is rape, there is tentacle rape, which is a whole thing we're going to define at some point in the course of this episode.
Well, this movie pretty much started that trend.
It did. It was the one that popularized the trend. And I have a bunch of notes about the history of that. But
yeah, this is a movie that I think a lot of people, especially today, because I think a lot of sensibilities are much more, shall we say, delicate.
Yeah.
Especially with younger people.
Sure.
I think they would be shocked at this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
now it's often considered a hentai.
Yes.
Which
actually means pervert in Japanese, right?
That's a whole thing we have to unpack as well in a minute. But
okay.
Adult animation is what we're talking about here. Now, the funny thing is, and I didn't realize this till I revisited it, but it's actually pretty tame in the scope of
stuff that came after.
What you would call like hentai itself and things that came after.
Sure. This also has a story.
And also actually has a plot and things happen, and it's not just like excuses to set up sex scenes.
Right. Which, let's be clear, I don't have a problem with.
Again, we've covered Pinku films, we've covered erotic thrillers. Right. We'll watch whatever, but to some people that may be offensive to your sensibilities, and if you're not comfortable with that, feel free to pass on this episode.
Don't watch this one.
Tune in for another one. Give this film a skip. It's totally fine. No one would ever hold it against you.
You might want to go ahead and skip the next one too.
Uh-oh. That's an ominous declaration. So I think I'm going to start by just giving you the synopsis of this film.
Sure.
Just to orient us at first. Legend has it that the human race is not the only dominant civilization living on Earth. 2 other races exist in this world, a demon race, the Makai, and a half-man, half-beast race, the Jujinkai. Once every 3,000 years, a supreme being, known as the Overfiend, or several other terms, Chojin in Japanese, will emerge and is fated to bring balance to all 3 realms and make a new, glorious kingdom. Very, biblical in style. In present-day Japan, after 300 years of endlessly searching, a beast man named Amano Jaku has discovered the presence of the Chojin inside a high school slacker named Tatsuo Nagamo. But now, Amano, along with his sister Megumi, and their sidekick familiar Kuroko, must protect Nagamo and his new girlfriend Akimi Ito from the demons of Makai, who believe that Nagamo is not the Chojin, but an evil entity bent on destroying all life on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And thus the epic clash.
I mean, it's a Tell Us Otis time. You know?
Yeah. Ultimate good, ultimate evil.
Uh-huh. So, what should we talk about first? Should we talk about our familiarity with this, our introduction to this? Do you want to do a little background on the manga? Or
so let's talk about the genre first. I want to start there. So what genre
is this? Oh my god. Tits and tentacles? Hentai? Horror?
So
splatter?
Wikipedia had my favorite, if we were just going to give it like a one-term kind of thing.
Okay.
Erotic horror.
Sure.
I think that's fair.
Eroguro, yeah.
Eroguro, we've talked about that before.
Mm-hmm. Erotic, grotesque.
Here's all the tags that IMDb gave it, some of which are redundant. Japanese.
Yeah.
Adult animation.
Sure.
Anime. Body horror. Yeah. Dark comedy.
Okay.
I mean, it's
very funny.
It's pretty funny
at times.
It's a
very funny movie.
Hand-drawn animation.
The way it should be.
Animation. That's the same thing, but okay. Fantasy, horror, and romance.
Definitely romance.
Sure. Now, this is it. Again, this is infamous, and we'll talk about that. But what was like your origin story for this film? Because we joked about this movie a lot.
Yeah. As
early as like the first few episodes, we made jokes about covering it, and it's taken us 116 to get to it.
Well, yeah.
So what does this mean to you? This film?
Well, this is no joke. This is a movie that's actually very near and dear to my heart. And I may have shared this story before on another podcast.
Now's the time to share it.
If so, I apologize if I have. But, okay, so back in the day, back in the 90s, when I was still in high school, the Kentucky Theater was, not to knock it too much now, because I think they're doing a good job, but it used to be really fucking cool. Like, it was the place to go to. Yeah. And they would have midnight movies on the weekends. And this was when they were still projecting them. It was actual film.
And to be clear, living kind of in like, I guess what you'd call central Kentucky,
yes.
There was nowhere to catch like a foreign film.
No.
Period.
Especially in the 90s. Mm-hmm. So I'm checking the newspaper, looking at movies and stuff. And I see that they're playing a movie called Legend of the Overfiend. And it's animated. Okay, cool. That sounds like something right up my alley. I hadn't seen a lot of anime yet. The only anime movie I had seen was Akira. So I'm like, okay, cool. This sounds great. So I gathered up some friends. I took my girlfriend, her cousin, and another mutual friend of ours. and we went to go see the midnight movie. Not having any idea what this is.
That's so
They don't know because I'm dragging them to it. And we get there, and they used to have the posters too, the actual real posters that would travel along with the print. And looking at the poster, cool, the big demon on the front.
Oh, yeah.
Some blood coming out. All right, this looks great. We get in there, start watching it, and it pretty much opens up with like demons fucking and stuff, and it's crazy. And then everyone starts kind of looking at me, and I'm like, oh okay.
Kind of like when you got a kid-friendly party going on, and you throw Jacko on the TV.
Hey, I forgot about that Linnea Quigley scene. Yeah, so especially like when the giant penises are tearing through the hospital, which we'll get to. That was really when I was like, oh, this is something special. And the reaction in the audience was great because everyone was pretty into it. They got it. No one was like standing up being like, oh, this is so offensive. They were having a good time with it. Even my friends who were pretty square had a pretty good time with it. But I left a convert.
Sure.
And amongst some of our little friend group, because soon it came out on VHS. So then that started getting passed around. So there was a little group that would watch this and knew about it and would make jokes that no one else got. And it was a great night, and it was a special time. And it introduced me to this whole world of adult animation that I just didn't know existed.
Interesting.
And a couple of years back, when the Kentucky Theater reopened, they were like, oh, we're having a big poster sale. And we even have some of our flyers. We're selling those. I'm like, cool, I'm going to check this out. And I go there and I'm digging through a bunch and I see some animated posters. And I'm like, holy shit. They had the Legend of the Overfiend poster that was there when I was there that night.
That's amazing.
And I picked it up for $10. And they also had one of the flyers that had the ad for the movie.
Ooh. So cool.
I bought that and it was just perfect. So now that it's framed, it's hanging on my stairwell. It's one of my prized possessions.
You can never let it go. If for any reason you have an inkling to let it go, you must let me purchase it.
Never would I. No, I'm going to be buried with it.
Good.
So yeah, that's my story of Legend of the Overfiend.
It's funny because even though I'm like a super huge anime fan, I actually don't have like a meaningful story with Urotsukidoji.
I bet most people don't.
But I love your story. It's so cool. I love to hear it every time.
Thank you.
No, for me, it was one of those things I just learned about in passing because, like, I'd already seen a ton of anime. I'd seen a bunch of crazy extreme ones.
You already knew what hentai was,
I already knew what hentai was. And, Urotsukidoji was just that one, like, everyone brought up, like, oh, it's the craziest. It's the one that made tentacle porn, like, a thing. And it's just wild and completely unhinged, dude. It's so crazy. And probably at some course in, like, watching things, I eventually was like, I should probably watch this, I guess, because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And what stunned me then, and it stunned me now on a rewatch, is like how much actual plot and like narrative and things are that are in this. And it's not just like when you think of hentai, you think of like here's a very thin plot and it's going to string together multiple sex scenes for some reason,
like a porno.
Yeah. And then there's really no like when you get to the end of it, there's no like, oh well, the story's resolved, or oh, a thing happened, or it's just
what did we learn today, kids?
We saw people have sex for like 30 to 60 minutes.
Because even back in the old days, real porn would have stories. They would try.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Which, as we know from reviewing Pinku, plenty of those try to have a plot.
Sure.
As incredulous as they may be. So no, it was just one of those things that I just naturally came to over time and watched.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Thought it was interesting. God damn it. I walked into that. And yeah, there's a bunch of sequels too as well. That's a whole other thing. They tried to continue the plot.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that briefly, but
yeah, many of which I hadn't seen.
I have seen none of those.
Okay.
And that's kind of my next. After this episode, I'm going to go watch all the other OVAs and check everything else out.
Awesome.
I'll probably report back on.
Yeah, I need to buy the new DVD that's out. Blu-ray.
Yes, these are. If you are intrigued after this episode, this is on Blu-ray now from Discotheque Media. They're one of my favorite companies. They pretty much exclusively deal in like old anime, old Japanese films. They do license some modern things, but they're very focused. They're probably the only company left that's really, really focused on getting in like the old gems and making sure they stay in print. And they just did a release of this and then another collection that's all the OVAs. So currently at this moment, it's in print and accessible.
Because it has not been in a long time.
Not since DVD. And those have been long out of print and long...
I have the old Perfect Collection DVD set that's been out of print forever, and I think it's been going for like $100 or more.
It's sat in our local Hastings for years. I always wanted to buy it. I could never get the courage to buy it. I regret not buying it, but now we have these cool Blu-rays, so it's whatever. So let's define some things first.
Okay.
And then that will help us... Because also, this is only like 3 episodes of OVA that's turned into a film, so...
Yes.
A lot happens, but also not a lot happens. It's hard to kind of put it into words, but...
Right.
I wanted to give this a good background because of what it is. So,
okay.
Let's define some things. So what is hentai?
Hentai are animated, typically Japanese. I think they pretty much have to be Japanese by default. Basically, movies that contain a lot of graphic sex.
Yeah.
It may not be the point, but there's going to be a lot of that in there.
And I think for most people, if you give that answer, that's going to be the acceptable one.
Sure.
Until you run into some like ultra nerd like myself, and then we're going to go, actually, that's not actually correct.
That's why you're here.
And that's why I'm here. So it's more complex than that. So,
yes.
So when we talk about what this is, these are often like, or in the past, they were originally self-published works. They were what you would call like a doujin work, which in Japanese, like doujinshi, that was like fan-made comics. And then you would have fan-made other things too. But just as a word, hentai, its meaning is like perversion or abnormality. It can be used as like an adjective, or like a person can be a hentai, you would say.
I have become hentai.
I've become hentai. But this whole like using that term to describe types of media, that was not really from the Japanese side of things. That was more from the Western fandom. We had that word and it kind of just got mixed up in there in the term of everything. So, when we talk about Japanese pornographic works in Japan, they're often just tagged as what you would call 18 kin, which would mean under 18 prohibited for those that aren't 18 yet. In manga, they would often call it seijin manga, which would mean adult manga. And then there's some other terms that have come around over the times. You might say something like an ero anime, erotic anime, ero manga. Sometimes you would just borrow the English initialism that's used for adult videos, AV, which we know from talking about Pinku films.
Sure.
So really, in Japan, the word hentai doesn't really define like a genre of media as much as it does in the West.
Okay.
So in the West, though, we went a different route with this. So if you look up like in the Oxford Dictionary online, what it's going to say the definition of hentai is a subgenre of Japanese manga and anime characterized by overtly sexualized characters and sexually explicit images and plots.
Sure.
So how do we get there? It's a funny, weird, like roundabout way. No one really knows where it started being used like that in English. One of the earliest points that's ever been found was Anime Nation's John Opliger. Early in the 1990s, he pointed out that there were some erotic comics made after the franchise Dirty Pair, really famous 80s anime about 2 chicks that are like intergalactic bounty hunters. And so those were like some of the first self-published works that were out there, and people didn't really know what to call them, so that kind of got described in there. Some of the earliest use of the term that people have actually found goes back to a very early day internet message board called the Rec Arts Anime Board. And there was a post in 1990 referencing the anime Ranma Half. Great anime. Unrelated to this, but and they were talking about the character of Haposai, who is like he's like one of the mentors that's really super skilled at martial arts, but he is like decrepitly perverted and always trying to like steal everyone's panties and do other dumb shit.
Right.
And so they were talking about the fact that like his constant obsession with perversion, they call him a hentai, that kind of thing. So that started to be prescribed to that whole aspect of like being obsessed with perverted things.
Okay.
A 1995 glossary on the Rec Arts Anime Board that would have terms to help you if you were a new fan to get to know like what these words are people are saying that are weird. Included that as a definition, and they said that hentai was a pervert or someone that's obsessed with perverted sex. In 1997, the Anime Movie Guide was published. This was a very early film literature book that kind of just reviewed a lot of different animes and would highlight them, had capsule reviews, all that good stuff. We know we love our books like that. It defined the term ecchi, which is another term that comes up in this space.
Sure.
And that is basically sort of like a milder, there might be like perverted content, but it's not explicit. And then to that same thing, like that's kind of how it became. It's like the anime was ecchi, it was milder than hentai, but still trending in that direction.
Right. Oh, it's getting all choked up talking about hentai and stuff.
Oh, God. I knew like 5 hours of running Vampire the Masquerade wouldn't be good for this. Okay. A year later, in 98, the Good Vibrations Guide to Sex was published. And this was kind of just a general book about like sex in general, I guess you would say. And it had a little subsection about these sorts of anime. And they listed hentai as one of the genres. In the early 2000s, hentai was the 41st most popular search term on the internet.
Oh, wow.
And it actually outranked anime, which came in at 99.
That's odd.
And then as that kind of popularized and just became more of like a Western used term, it began to be applied to things. Anime like ours today, Urotsukidoji, some of its contemporaries, La Blue Girl, which we'll talk about a little more in a minute, I bet, and stuff like Cool Devices. Now, before this was subscribed, some other terms were used. Urotsukidoji in the past have been described with things like Japornimation, which...
That's awkward.
I get the pun, but I don't like it.
Me either.
And they adopted the Eroguro title and kind of brought that over and used that as well. So that's the definition of the terms.
Okay.
How did we get there? I'll explain that as well. So depictions of sexual acts in media can go way, way back before we've ever had this term. In the 16th and through the 19th centuries, we had in Japan this stuff called shunga, and that was basically erotic works of art. They were thought to have existed since back in like the Heian period of Japan. Once the shogunate became an established thing, it was a sort of outlawed medium. They very much tried to suppress it, stamp down its proliferation, as most nations tend to do. And there's one very well-known example of this, and probably anyone listening to the show will at least have some conception of it. Yeah. And that is the very famous work of art known as The Dream of the Fisherman's Wife by the painter Hokusai. Now, this depicts a woman being pleasured by two octopuses. It was super popular, helped in part, I'm sure, because Hokusai is like a genius when it comes to painting. I'll throw it in the show notes. You can look at it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It fell off over the years as actual real pornographic photos began to proliferate in the late 19th century. Right. Why wait for someone to paint something when you can just snap a photo?
Exactly.
Adult themes in manga have existed since probably the 1940s. But a lot of these early depictions were a lot more realistic and not the sort of like cartoony, cute anime characters you would think of. That really got popularized with Osamu Tezuka and his stuff like Astro Boy, and then all the people trying to imitate him. In 1973, Manga Bestseller, which is considered to be the first hentai magazine published in Japan, was responsible for making a new genre that they termed Ero Gekiga. And so Gekiga was already this manga genre, and it was kind of described as like you tried to make it very cinematic looking. Like you had realistic looking characters, your panels would be framed like cinema shots.
Okay.
It wouldn't be that cartoony, cutesy, over the top thing. And so Ero Gekiga was kind of playing in that style, but adding in a lot of sexual elements to it. And that spawned a bunch of imitators. They had another magazine called Erogenica in 1975 and Alice magazine in 1977. These peaked in 78. And around that time, it's estimated there was about between 80 and 100 different of these magazines being published annually.
Damn.
But we've talked about Japanese history a lot, weirdly, I guess because I've pitched so many Japanese films. But so as we know, we move into the 80s and everything starts to change. So the 80s saw the decline of this Ero Gekiga style in favor of the rising popularity of Bashoujo magazines. And this gets into what we kind of know as the style of anime where you have the girls, they're very cute, They have very large eyes that are expressive and can emote a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And many characters are sort of idolized for having more youngish, dare I say, childlike features.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And there's actually a theory about this, that the Erogekiga style kind of died out because baby boomer readership was like, they weren't buying these manga to read anymore. They had families now. They had work. They had a respectable life. They didn't have time to be buying porn magazines.
It's a shame.
Reading through them, you know?
Ain't no kind of life.
And a lot of them would instead migrate to like seinen manga, the kind of stuff that was made more for like older adults. Less your like action battle anime and more like your serious drama type stuff. And then so with them moving on, that gap was kind of filled with, you know, photo magazines, actual models modeling naked,
Sure.
like. And so all throughout the 80s and on into the 90s, there's a lot that kind of spawned off of that. I'm not going to go super deep into that because we care about film. We don't care about manga as much at this moment. And much in the same way, a lot of that came to America slowly in time in its own little ways that it has. So if we shift gears to talk about animation, the earliest pornographic anime is called Suzumi Bune, and that was made in 1932.
Oh, wow.
It was the first half of a 2-reeler, and they made the first half, and then it was seized by the police for indecency, and it was never finished. That first reel was donated to the National Film Center in the early 21st century by the Tokyo police. They found it again because they were going through and removing all the silver nitrate from things in their possession.
Fire and burns things down.
But when they handed it over, it went into their archive and was sealed. It has never been viewed by living eyes
That's a shame.
after it was assembled.
Someone needs to get in there and fix it up.
Yeah, that's probably one of those like holy grail release kind of things. There were 2 early works that technically you would call them, I guess, hentai today, but they escaped that label. And that's probably due to their obscurity of the time. Even when they came to the U.S., it was like they would really didn't have those terms yet for them. But that was a 1969 anime film, 1001 Nights, which was a very faithful adaptation of 1001 Nights, which includes sex in some of the stories. And then in 1970, there was a movie called Cleopatra, Queen of Sex. And it was the first animated film to carry an X rating. Now, it wasn't really just like a full-on kind of porno type thing. It was just, again, it was like a animated version of the story of Cleopatra, which includes sex. And at the time, it kind of got mislabeled as erotica because of the X rating and everything else. So moving on into the 80s and like into the 90s and stuff like that, hentai, as we would call it, became just a general part of business in Japan. As far as the American side of things, that's a little interesting in and of itself. The first licensed erotic anime was attempted in 1991 by Central Park Media. If you're a big anime fan, you'll probably immediately recognize that name. They were like a mainstay in the early days. They tried to release a movie called I Give My All. However, they were blocked, and it was never released.
Not cool.
It was seen as too indecent to unleash on the public.
Has it been released since?
I don't really know.
Oh, okay. Something to look into.
Something to follow up on. In 92, AD Vision, which was a label very near and dear to my heart, released Devil Hunter Yoko. Now, this wasn't like a pornographic anime, but it was what we would call one of those ecchi titles where there was a ton of like sexy elements, but no intercourse occurred.
Right.
Lots of people having their clothes blown off and awkward situations and all that kind of stuff. The first proper, what you would call an adult animation to be released was Central Park Media's 1993 release of, you guessed it, Urotsukidoji. It's the first to depict tentacle sex on screen, as it were, as far as an animation like this. And here was the tagline that they gave it for its premiere in the U.S. Drenched in graphic scenes of perverse sex and ultraviolence.
Yeah, if that doesn't get you want to watch it, nothing will.
And following its release, it kind of made its own little mini boom in that field for people that cared about it. A lot of anime labels would kind of make their own little sub-label that just existed to license and release hentai. Central Park Media had Anime 18. AD Vision had Soft Cell Pictures. Media Blasters had Kitty Media.
Yep. remember seeing those everywhere.
Critical Mass, that was another big one.
Who were the ones who had the covers with the caution tape along the bottom?
I don't know, but that was like a very prolific
that was
style.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Now, a lot of these are now defunct. They went bankrupt over time because they didn't really make a lot of money. Anime is not really... only recently kind of become the huge thing that it is now. But Kitty Media is still active today through Media Blasters. They mostly just re-release their old stuff now on Blu-ray, but I think they are still licensing things when they can. So that's a very quick and very broad history.
Nice.
So we at least kind of know this genre.
We know what we're talking about.
What we're talking about. Kind of sound like an expert.
Uh-huh. Or a sexpert.
Now let's talk about Urotsukidoji a little bit before we actually walk through the plot, do all that fun stuff. If you really directly translate the title, you would read it as Super God Legend Wandering Child, which seems like a really weird name because you're like, where's this kid coming in?
Yeah.
But the Wandering Child refers to Amano, our main character, who has been wandering for 300 years trying to find the Overfiend.
Right.
It's based on a manga made and illustrated by Toshio Maeda. He has an interesting history. At 16, he left Osaka and moved to Tokyo to become the assistant of a professional cartoonist. It was just his dream. It was what he really wanted to do. And very quickly, he became interested in manga for adults. He didn't like when they would get assignments to work on regular manga magazine stuff because there would be all these rules. You can't depict any religious offensive stuff. You can't have any politically offensive stuff. You can't have any sexual stuff in there. Don't do this, don't do that.
What's the point?
And he immediately kind of gravitated toward if we do adult stuff, there are no restrictions. We can just tell our story. If that stuff's in there, it's in there. But if it's not, then it's not, and we can just do whatever we want.
Right.
So eventually, after some time working as an assistant, he started on his own career. Some of his early stuff was things like Evil Spirit Island and Ashita e Kickoff. Those he only illustrated, and someone else wrote the scripts for. He continued working for a while as an assistant to another manga artist, Kenji Nanba. And Kenji Nanba was a disciple of Takao Saito. And they all kind of helped mentor Maeda into working on his own. Mentioned it earlier, but Maeda is sort of the guy who made tentacle rape its own little subgenre in the world of hentai. His first use of it was in 1976 in an experimental short, just like a one-and-done manga, published in the magazine Special Young Comic, and it was titled Sex Tearing.
Nice. That's subtle.
In an interview, he said the reason for drawing tentacles into the story was that due to Japanese law, he could not depict male genitals.
Which is still a thing, isn't it?
Which
weirdly,
it is still a law in place, even today, yeah. And if you go to any of our Pinku episodes where we've talked about it, that had a huge impact over there. All their creative camera angles and weird things they tried to do to not show a penis, but still...
And eventually they would just start fogging. They would just cover up the area with a little dot or something. A lot of anime or hentai anime does that too.
Mm-hmm. They'll have the shadowy outline of it, but not show you the thing, and it's slightly darker down there than it is anywhere else.
Or the pixelation effect, which is even more annoying somehow.
So he had a simple thought, and we know this all too well from some of the Pinku we've covered. If you can't show it, the best thing is to do something to work around it. For Pinku, that was to have clever camera angles. For the world of visual art, you can draw anything you can imagine, so why do they need to be genitals? Let's make them tentacles.
Sure, it's close enough, right?
Because of this, Maeda is super foundational to adult animation in general. Urotsukidoji is far and away his best-known work, but he's made many other manga that have been adapted into animation and also have legendary titles to them. Some stuff like Adventure Kid, Demon Beast Invasion, Demon Warrior Koji, and probably his number 2 title, I would say, after Urotsukidoji, La Blue Girl, which also super proliferates the whole tentacle thing.
Yep. That was all over the place back in the day, too, on VHS.
He's an interesting dude. In September of 2010, he had his own fan club website started called the Tentacle Club. And if you're in Japan, you can sign up for a small monthly fee of 500 yen and see all his manga online. It's cool. He also offers opportunities to come and stay at his apartment and hang out and talk about manga, anime, have a beer. He'll take you on a tour of Akihabara and show him some of his famous spots to hang out in around Tokyo. Just seems like a real down-to-earth, nice guy.
Awesome, yeah.
Which is funny considering the stuff he makes.
Well.
Forever proof that you shouldn't judge people on the content of their fictional writing.
Exactly. Maybe you shouldn't judge them by it, at all. It's fiction.
Maeda has been very receptive of this title. In a blog interview that he did recently, he stated that when he died, he wanted Tentacle Master inscribed on his tombstone.
Nice.
So the actual manga was serialized in a magazine called Manga and Erotopia. It's a great name, Erotopia. It ran from 85 to 86. It was very much a departure in his work where he started to bring in these like darker supernatural themes and have a more serious plot. And in 87, it was received so well that it began being adapted into an OVA series, directed by, as we said, Hideki Takayama. The adaptation deviated a lot from the source material. Basically, Takayama saw this and kind of saw a vision of what it could be, and to get there, it needed more violence, more brutal stuff, and more rape, unfortunately.
All right.
It came out, did surprisingly well for its field. We do actually have the manga in English. We got it back in the day through CPM Manga in 98. They did it as individual issues and then bundled them into volumes. And it actually had a Kickstarter re-release in 2014, where a publishing company did like very nice with color hardcover releases. Now, I don't know if those are out of print or what, but they tried. The anime was so popular that it got several follow-ups. The very following one, I believe it's the Demon Womb, right?
Legend of the
Demon Womb. That one still pulled on some elements from the manga they had never used. But once you get beyond that, it's kind of just them dirtling the story forward.
Right.
And notably, the final chapter is a little incomplete. It was meant to be several episodes. They only made one, and then the wells kind of ran dry, and we ground it out there. There was a follow-up series made a few years later called New Saga, and it was mostly just a like alternate retake of the original. So, in Japan, though, there has been continuations for the manga. He made a follow-up in the 90s called New Urotsukidoji, and in 2008, he made a follow-up to that called Heisei Urotsukidoji. I could find precious little info about them, so I can't tell you too much.
It's weird how hard some things are still to find information on.
And the last little bit of background stuff I want to give, and then we'll finally start talking about the film. I apologize. The animation team that worked on this, they've done other stuff that's really cool. Probably the biggest standout thing they worked on is something called Giant Robo: The Day the Earth Stood Still. And this is an over-the-top OVA series that's a tribute to the manga works of Mitsuteru Yokoyama. Now, Yokoyama was one of those early manga creators that, like, super foundational, right up there with you put with, like, Tezuka and stuff like that. He made things like Babel II, Giant Robo, Tetsujin 28, which we know here in the West is Gigantor, Sally the Witch, and so many other things. And, like, a lot of those are, like, first. Like, he made the first giant robot. He made the first giant robot that was controlled by another person. Sally the Witch was one of the earliest examples of a Magical Girl series. So he was like right on the front line of a lot of that stuff.
They don't make those anymore. And
The Day the Earth Stood Still is this crazy mashup that takes like most of his manga and makes them all exist in the same world together.
Okay.
It's this big, explosive, like... it would be like Avengers Endgame, but for his works, basically.
Right.
Really cool, fucking gorgeous series, too. If you like giant robots or like classic sci-fi stuff, definitely give it a look.
Right.
And so I talked a little bit about Maeda and his influence, but Takayama, that directed the anime, he also has a pretty cool career as well. He's been an episode director on a ton of stuff. I noticed in the 80s he worked on some early mecha anime I really dig. Galaxy Cyclone Bryger, Video Warrior Lazarion. Probably a standout thing a lot of people would notice him for is Night Warriors Darkstalker's Revenge. That was an anime OVA adapted from Capcom's Darkstalkers fighting game franchise that it's very Street Fighter-esque, but had like horror movie tropes to it.
Right.
And he has a weird thing that this like clicks on a weird like thing for me, which is that he worked on another hentai OVA that I actually have a personal encounter with.
Oh.
From 1999, it's called Kuro no Dansho, which means like black fragments. But the English title was Mystery of the Necronomicon, Book of the Dead.
Okay.
And so, you know, old Dustin being a burgeoning Lovecraftian fan back in the day, I'm browsing a Suncoast video, and I find this DVD, and it's clearly labeled as hentai, but it says Mysteries of the Necronomicon. And the back of the box is talking about, like, oh, in Arkham, this blah, blah, blah's going on, and no. And Herbert West, da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, oh, okay. And so I did pick it up. It's really weird. It's not very good. Mm-hmm. It's about a private detective investigating a series of murders that start at a hotel.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of thinly veiled Lovecraft references that I'm not sure are actually in the original Japanese script.
Okay.
It kind of feels like they just threw them in there to...
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the cover of one of them, and it's just got like this... this might be a scientist or something,
yeah,
maybe?
She's a scientist.
And she's like tied up, and her clothes are being ripped off. And yeah, okay.
It's really weird because, like, the sex in it is very ancillary and often crammed in.
Mm-hmm. No pun intended.
So yeah, it was funny to be one of those weird things that I watched and I was like, well, that was super odd. And then now all these years later, here we are talking about his career, and
right
there it is again in my face. And then the only other thing I wanted to close out on, just again to kind of put in how big this film really is, the Erotic Anime Movie Guide was published in 1998, and it had an entry for this, of course, and it said, no other title apart from Akira has been so influential in the English language market for Japanese animation.
I believe it.
It should forever be considered a formative work of the hentai genre.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
So now that we're super oriented, let's talk about the film.
All right.
And I'm going to let you take over a little bit, Jason, because I have been running my mouth.
All right, well.
So how do we open?
Well, luckily we get an opening narration that explains the situation to us.
Which is great. I love when that happens.
Yeah. It tells us that there are three worlds. There's the human world.
Sure.
There's the beast world, the Jujinkai. Mm-hmm. And then there's the Makai, the demon world.
Yep.
So there is the legend told of this being that comes every 3,000 years called the Chojin.
Yeah.
And he's about to show up now. And he's supposed to unite all three worlds.
Mm-hmm. And make a new utopia.
Right. And then we get this like hellscape scene where these demons are having sex and ripping women apart.
Yep.
And that's the opening.
Very startling beginning.
Yeah, it really grabs you. Yeah, if you didn't know what you were getting into, you might stop the movie here. You know?
It's like your little sign to be like, you know, if you proceed, this is what you're getting.
Yeah. But I like how it lets you know right off the gate. It doesn't fuck around.
I was also very intrigued. Did you watch this dubbed or subbed?
Okay, so I actually prefer the English version. It's the one I saw. It's the one I grew up with.
So the dub actually has like a very kind of famous reputation. Mm-hmm. It's goofy, but it's also like it works.
It's really well done.
Yeah.
The voice acting is great. There's some really hilarious lines.
So I watched it in Japanese.
Mm-hmm. I watched it in Japanese too. I watched the original OVAs.
Yeah, I've watched it both ways myself. But what I think's funny is, so Chojin, if you directly translate it, it means ultra god.
Right.
So the subtitles was saying ultra god. So it's like we have these three terms. We can say Chojin, ultra god, overfiend.
Yeah, they're all interchangeable.
Yeah, it's really funny.
So we get that little set us up where we're at, right? And then we cut to this university. And it's like your typical, I mean, you want to say high school, but maybe it's college.
So the only reason I'm pretty sure it is college and it's not like a deceit kind of thing is because they don't have school uniforms. Everybody's kind of wearing whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good to know.
Because there's other hentai anime where part of the conceit to dubbing it is they had to pretend that it was college and not high school.
Yeah.
So you see everyone in their matching uniforms.
But it's called,
And then it's like, oh, yeah, university.
Yeah, so this probably actually is university then. So there's this basketball game going on, right?
Yeah.
And we see Amano Jaku, who was referenced in the opening narration.
Yeah.
Because the demon dude was talking about how he's been searching for the Chojin for like 300 years.
Yeah, he was enamored with that story, and he wants to see that new utopia.
And Amino is a beast man. So he looks a little, even when he's like in his human kind of disguise thing, you know, he's got like kind of whiskers.
Yeah, he has like kind of cat whiskers.
Yeah, and his eyebrows are kind of flared out. You can tell there's something a little bit off about him.
But he's got the cool spiky hair.
Yeah.
And like, he just immediately is such a likable dude.
He is. And the voice acting for him is great too. But he's up there and he's watching one of the star basketball players, Ozaki.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, oh yeah, this is the Chojin.
Oh, Ozaki, man, he's the guy.
He's the guy. He's got all the moves. Chicks love him. This is definitely the Chojin.
He's the best on the team. He's the star player. He's the ace of the school.
But then we cut to the girls' locker room.
Yeah.
And Nagumo.
Yeah, our other central character, Tatsuo Nagumo,
is spying on them.
He's sneaking in a peeping.
Whilst masturbating. He's sneaking in a peeping.
And he especially gets interested when Akemi Ito walks in.
Yep. Akemi is the dream girl.
Yep, she's the girl that everybody wants. She's super cool. She's super popular. She's very cute.
And when she comes in, he climaxes.
Yeah.
And then he runs off because the girls hear him.
Yep. He slips away and back into the gym.
Yep. But yeah, he's kind of like running in front of them, and he runs into the gymnasium, and he jumps into this like the cage for all the balls and stuff.
He's hiding in there.
He's hiding in there, watching the girls.
The girls come out to do like the little cheerleady halftime kind of thing.
Yeah.
Only theirs is much more elaborate. They have like hula hoops and do like gymnastic type things.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Which sets Nagumo off again. Nagumo is the ultimate pervert. He truly is. So Ozaki sees Nagumo in the ball cage thing, and he's like, hey, we got someone uninvited here, and he throws this ball at him, right? Hits him in the face, he falls down, cuts himself.
Yep.
Everyone's laughing at him. Ozaki goes over and is like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you so hard or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't see you over there, man. Sorry.
And then he remarks on his boner, and he says, oh, you cut yourself. And he's like, allow me. And he licks the wound. He licks the cut. He licks the blood off of it. And I guess this isn't considered unusual by most people. It gets Amino's attention.
Yeah.
But everyone else is just sort of like, oh, whatever. I mean, it's a little...
Amino kind of just sees it as a sign like, oh, yeah, okay, he's the Overfiend. For sure. Look at him licking blood off people.
He's that cool.
For everyone else there, I don't know. I think Ozaki just fucks, man. Like...
it's whatever, man. It does, yeah.
I think he could just do anything and get away with it.
I think you're right. But, like, Akemi is upset by this. She doesn't like seeing Nagumo humiliated.
Because she's kind of soft on him.
Right. So Nagumo runs out, and later on he's kind of like hiding behind a tree and stuff, and he sees Akemi being escorted by Ms. Togami, one of the teachers. So Ms. Togami takes Akemi into, I think it's like the nurses.
Yeah, it's the nurses' room.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, you've got something very special that I want. Turns out Ms. Togami is actually a demon.
Yeah, she's been infiltrating the school looking for the Chojin.
And she transforms, and these tentacles come out, and she assaults Akemi. Mm-hmm. And this is probably the first real depiction of the whole tits and tentacles subgenre.
Yeah.
As it were. And Nagumo was following them, saying, hey, what's going on here? And he's spying on them.
But less for his own pleasure this time, and more there's just the what the fuck factor.
Right. And Amino shows up. And kind of introduces himself.
I love it too, because like Nagamo's like spying, and then Amino's just there, and he's like, "Oh, that's kind of crazy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, maybe we should do something about that."
And he starts watching. Yeah, but when the demon transforms and stuff, he's like, "Oh shit, okay, something. It's a fucking demon." And the demon sees Amino, knows someone's watching, kind of blows the door open, knocks out Nagumo.
Yep.
And then Amino proceeds to fight this demon.
Yeah, we got a really cool fucking battle, too. Yeah. Amino has, like, I don't know if you would call it psychic powers, but, like, there's kind of this blue energy that, like, flows out of him and just does shit.
He's like Superman. He has various powers when the need arises. But, also, I wrote down in my notes that this is also the point where you might turn off this movie. You know if this is for you or not after the scene with Akemi and Ms. Togami.
Sure.
So Amino fights a demon, kills it. Before he kills it, though, he says, oh, you're probably looking for the Chojin, too. Well, I found him. Fuck you. You're dead.
Yep.
And then we quickly meet Kuroko, which is like a little sidekick of Amino. He's like this little gray dude. Who wears a vest but no pants.
Call him an imp, maybe is the best word.
An imp's probably a good word. But he's totally nude except for his little vest.
Which is relevant later.
And his genitals are always on display. And Megumi, who is Amino's sister.
Mm-hmm. No, what I thought was interesting is apparently the Megumi in the OVA is very different from the manga. Apparently in the manga, she is like super like sadomasochistic and is very like, she's always trying to like beat the crap out of people and then like just rape people and very much more like aggressive and like at times she's opposed to Amano.
Interesting.
And doesn't really like
I like this Megumi.
want to help him.
I like this Megumi better.
And this one is much better in that she is very nice and sweet and kind of supportive.
Mm-hmm. Although there is a scene that didn't make it into the movie version that's in the OVA with Megumi.
Oh, yeah.
When she is pleasuring herself with the demon.
Oh.
She's like allowing the demon to... It thinks it has the upper hand and it's doing what it wants to her, but she's actually enjoying it. And then she kills the demon. Like
I do think when you look at character descriptions, they describe her as a nymphomaniac.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that kind of supports that.
Yeah. The excise footage kind of does help support that a little bit. So Amino and Megumi have a bet on who the Chojin is. They think they found the right one, each of them. And Nagumo goes in to see Akemi, who's kind of waking up and being like, "Oh, you saved me, thank you."
Yeah.
So Akemi thinks Nagumo saved her.
Scores him some major points.
Yes, definitely.
But Amano was still stuck on it being Ozaki, without a doubt.
Yep.
But Megumi, she has like a weird feeling about Nagamo, and she thinks it could be him.
Yep.
But he seems so lame. There's just no way Amano can accept that.
Yeah. And then, like, the next scene, Kuroko is outside Ozaki's window, like, watching him have sex with these two girls.
Yeah, Ozaki, after his victory win, needs to blow off some steam.
Yeah.
So like you do, you just get a bunch of girls to come over to your apartment.
And there's this great, like, Kuroko's sitting there just, like, salivating, and he says, "Fucking pervert." Like Ozaki's the pervert.
But someone's weird with Ozaki now. He's getting a little aggressive.
So suddenly his penis begins to glow.
Yeah, like it does.
I didn't know that wasn't normal. So the girls freak out, and they're, like, running out into the hallway, and he's freaking out. He's like, "Oh, shit, what the fuck's wrong with me? This ain't right."
Yeah.
And so he gets his pants on and runs out after them. But then we get this really cool scene in the hallway because everything becomes like super saturated and almost like bathed in this neonish kind of light.
Yeah.
And the girls are dead, and then like some monster comes out of one of their bodies, and it's one of the demons, and he begins chasing Ozaki, saying that he's the Chojin, and they're going to kill him. And he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And he runs away, and he has a big fight with the demons. And by this time, Amano's arrived, and he's watching it.
And he's just like, "Oh, this is proof."
Yeah, this is great, yeah. But then Ozaki gets eaten by one of the demons, apparently. But then...
Which wasn't supposed to happen.
Wasn't supposed to happen.
So then he's like, "Fuck, it's not him."
And there's a beat. And then we see him start glowing from the inside, and Ozaki comes ripping out, and he's turned into this big gremlin-looking monster.
Yeah.
Big furry gremlin.
Like, super powerful.
And he fights the demons, kills them. And Amano's, "Oh yeah, okay, I found you. You're the Chojin. Let's see what you really got." And then hits him with this big bolt of lightning that promptly kills Ozaki.
Yeah.
And Amano's like, "Oh shit."
But he knows. It's been well spoken of in fated stories how strong the Overfiend is. Mm-hmm. So clearly, it can't be Ozaki.
Can't be him. And then Kuroko's like, "Oh, wait a minute. Maybe he got some of the Chojin's semen or blood."
Because if that happens, you would get some of the power temporarily.
And Amano's like, "Oh, wait, blood." And he remembers Ozaki licking Nagumo.
So then he's like, "Shit, Megumi was right."
Meanwhile...
Megumi's been tailing Nagamo and Akemi.
Right.
They're on a little date, having a nice, cute moment.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the first times that Akemi cries. Akemi cries a lot in this movie.
She does. She's not the best written female character.
No. But Megumi like creeps up and like gets on Nagumo and is like, "Ooh, baby, yeah, I remember last night."
Well, no, it's funny because like they're in a park and then they kind of wander off into the bushes because they're going to fool around a little bit.
Right.
And then just as they're undressing, Megumi just like pops in and she's like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to hook up with you now."
Yeah. And
Akemi gets upset. She storms away.
Nagumo, runs off.
He's like, "I don't know who you are." And then she's like, "Oh, I always wanted to sleep with the Overfiend."
Yeah. And she has this great line. It says, "Let me see that super Chojin dick." So Nagumo gets up and runs away, and he stops and he's like, "Oh, maybe I should have taken a rope runner off her." But then he promptly gets hit by a car, and we cut to the hospital. He's fucking dead. I mean, like
he's
blood.
like ravaged.
Yeah, dead as Dillinger.
And by the time Amano catches up, he's just like, "The fuck happened?"
Yeah, what's going on here? Because Amano and Megumi are hanging up on the rooftop of the hospital talking about this, and they're like, "There is no Chojin. Let's just go back home." But then Nagumo is woken up by the presence of a nurse in the room. He reanimates. He gets up, and it's obvious like his eyes are all red.
Yeah, he has this weird aura glowing around him.
Something's going on, and he proceeds to assault the nurse.
Which is very out of character for him.
Not very Nagumo-like, no.
Yeah.
He likes to watch. That's his thing. But then he's kind of like transforming.
Yeah, he's starting to become that like gremlin demon monster thing again.
Yeah.
That Ozaki turned into.
The nurse literally burst open.
It's disturbing.
And Megumi is like overcome. She's like, "Oh, you feel that power? What the fuck is that shit?" And then suddenly Nagumo is like, he's transformed into this demon. He's getting bigger.
We get the like Dragon Ball Z moment where everyone is just like stunned by the sheer power
Yes.
that's existing.
Yes. And he becomes larger. He grows multiple penises that also get bigger, and they start tearing through the hospital.
And any person they touch gets absorbed into them.
Gets absorbed into them. Yep. And Megumi almost gets absorbed into it.
Yeah, Moano's able to fly after her and drag her back out before she gets assimilated.
Yep. And then we see like Nagumo has become this huge winged monster, and
He's like a kaiju-sized
and he's standing
beast.
out. He's above the rooftop of the hospital. He's burst through it. His wings are all spread, and it reminds me a lot of Chernobog from Fantasia.
Oh yeah, sure.
But with more penises.
Yeah. And the penis tentacles are just like flailing and flying all around, and they're like smashing into buildings and taking them out.
And Amano's like, "Hey, all right, I found you. You are the Chojin."
And then perhaps my favorite oddity, and it comes up again later, but these giant tentacle penises begin to spew a sort of like pinkish energy plasma from them.
Yeah.
And anything it touches is immediately obliterated from existence.
Yeah.
Like just fucking deleted.
It's like A-bomb jizz, man.
Yeah.
So then I believe this is like the end of the first OVA.
Right. We kind of get a fade out on that. It's like, oh God, what's happening?
Yeah. And then we get kind of this scene in the demon realm where these demons were reporting to this demonic looking figure that we found out later is named Suikakuju.
Yeah, Suikakuju. He's a very powerful demon lord who has clashed with Amano in the past.
Yeah. But they're like, okay, what are we going to do? Chojin's here. And the demon's like, Suikakuju says, "Hey, find me a human who hates Nagumo."
We're going to use him to
Yeah.
kill him before he becomes the Overfiend.
So they got their assignment. They're out of there. Meanwhile, back at school, Amano is showing Akemi this article in a newspaper. It shows the hospital in ruins.
Yeah.
It makes no mention of the multi-penis giant winged creature.
Kind of think I would remember that if I saw it.
Yeah. And Amano says, "Yeah, Nagumo's the only one who survived. He's alive, and he's coming to see you now."
No pressure.
So I guess after that, he just turned back into regular old normal Nagumo.
Yeah. It was a temporary unleash of his power.
But as she's leaving, we see another kid up in the classroom named Nikki.
Yeah.
Who's looking down into Kimmy, and he's thinking to himself, how come you're so hot for Nagumo? We would be so good together. You should be with me. And he kind of goes after Akemi and tries to ask her out, but Akemi's too excited to see Nagumo and just runs off.
Oh, which I have a note about Nikki here. In the Japanese dub, he's voiced by Koichi Yamadera. He has done a ton of high-profile anime voices. He was the voice for Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, wow.
Ryoji Kaji in Evangelion. And more recently, Beerus in Dragon Ball Super.
Okay. Now, didn't the voice actors, use pseudonyms for this so they wouldn't be associated with it?
I know in English they did.
Yeah.
I don't know about Japanese.
Okay. Well, I guess probably less of a stigma
Taboo,
in Japan,
It's just work.
Yeah. They're comfortable with their freakiness.
But it's just funny that it's like the first tentacle porn hentai, and we have this super prolific voice actor.
Bebop is, that's hilarious. So Nagumo gets there, and they're like reconciling, and Meanwhile, there was these girls who are like watching the whole scene with Akemi and Nikki, and they're like, "Hey, she'll never give you the time of day. You're just an ugly little runt.
Yeah.
Now come with us. We'll show you a good time.
We'll make you a man."
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kuroko pops up first. We have Nagumo, and Akemi sitting there talking, da, 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 da. And then Kuroko just pops up because they're starting to make out.
Right.
And he pops out and says, "Be sure and wear a condom, kid." And they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And then Amino and Megumi come out. And he's like, "Hey, I got something to show you." So they take Akemi and Nagumo to the Beast Realm.
Yes. And they go to see the Elder.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yo, Elder, it's been like 300 years, but guess what? I found the Overfiend."
This is the Chojin, and the old dude's like staring at him and doing his magic and shit. And he's like, "Holy shit," because he sees Nagumo become this big demon thing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "No, take this evil away from here."
He's like, "No, this is all this is bad.
This is all bad.
This is all bad. Everything's gonna die to acid jizz.
And he like kicks them out of the realm.
Please leave. Do not come back."
Meanwhile, Nikki is being humiliated by these girls. Mm-hmm. Like they're all nude and stuff, and the lead chick's like making him suck her foot and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking some guys would be all right with this. This isn't. Go ahead, humiliate me. It's okay.
Jason's like, "Oh no, the horror! I'm so humiliated right now."
I didn't say me. I said some guys. But they they're teasing him. They smash this charm that he had grabbed from Akemi, sets him off. He's like, "I'm going to kill all you bitches." And then suddenly, they just start to die. They're like floating up in the air. They're quivering. They explode. He's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
He's like, "I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it."
Yeah, but these two demons show up.
Yeah, it's Suikakaju's little cronies.
Yeah, because they found the human that hates Nagumo.
And they're like, "Hey, kid.
Yeah, you want to be powerful? You want to fuck Akemi and do whatever you want? Well, just do this." And they throw something at him. And it's like this dismembered demon penis.
Yeah, and they say, "Hack yours off, put that one on, you'll get all the power, man.
Wash it in the blood of two," they tell him.
You need the blood of 2 people, wash it in it. You're golden after that.
Yep.
Small price to pay.
Yeah, you're good. So like Nikki gets home and we see his parents were fucking awful. His dad's just beating the shit out of him. His mom's laughing about it.
He's not got a great home life.
Does not have a good home life. So Nikki decides, okay, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be a man. I'm going to man up and chop off my own dick.
And it's pretty intense. He gets like a meat cleaver. And we get that like hesitation scene where he's just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but then he just like slams it down.
It made me think of Idle Hands when he finally cuts the hand off. You scream like a girl.
I wonder if they were inspired by this.
I mean, maybe.
It's possible. Okay, so Nikki's on his way to power, apparently. So after the gang, our heroes, get kicked back to the human world, they're kind of waking up, and they hear this commotion going on. And they go out to the alley, and they see that Nikki, who is all big and buff now, is kicking the ass out of this gang. These big tough guys, right?
He's beat up all the goons, and there's just the boss left.
Yeah.
And the boss is like, "Oh, you can't take me, Nikki.
Yeah.
There's no way."
Then he basically like crushes his face. And Akemi is like, "Oh, what's wrong with Nikki? He looks so different." And Nikki tries to just like take Akemi away, right?
He's like, "Come with me, bitch." And
yeah.
They're like, "Whoa, what's this language now suddenly?"
And Nagumo's all like, "No, she's with me." And there's like this flash and everything. And Nikki feels this power. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Okay, all right, I'll get you later." And he commands his other girls to go with him and leaves.
He's like, "All you chicks are with me now. Come on."
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, sure. Once someone crushes another person's head, you give them a little leeway, I guess.
Yes. So Nikki has his fun with them. And meanwhile, Amino has tracked down one of the demons who's recruited Nikki because he sees what Nikki's done. And he's like, "Okay, I smell, the Makai are behind this."
Oh, yeah. They're always scheming.
Yeah. So he finally finds one of them and kills him while the demon's trying to explain to Amino that, the Chojin isn't what you think.
You've been misled.
Yeah. But then it's time for Amino to feel some weird energy. And he looks behind him and an old nemesis of his appears. Which we get a flashback to show us what this is about.
Yeah.
Back to 1923 and the Great Kanto earthquake.
Yes, this was the closest they had come to finding the Chojin up to that point.
Yeah.
And as they were kind of coming into their power, Suikakuju kind of went and took the nuclear option. And he summoned the Sea Demon King.
Yes.
Which is this great, like, Leviathan-type beast in the ocean. And had it unleash all its power to try to destroy the Chojin before it manifested.
Yeah.
And that resulted in the infamous 1923 Great Kanto earthquake.
Yeah. Who knew that? Decimated
Japan.
Yeah.
And is very popular to use as a plot point in supernatural animes and media. I wrote this down because I did want to mention it. My favorite other use of this, outside of Urotsukidoji, is in the novel, and then it spawned films and anime, Teito Monogatari. Its anime adaptation, Doom Megalopolis, uses that same plot point where the evil mystic Yasunori Kato has an evil plan and it ends up triggering the Great Kanto earthquake.
Oh, interesting.
So,
much how they use the atomic bomb explosions in other,
media,
literature and stuff.
So you can bet if it's a supernatural anime and at any point history gets involved, there may or may not be a supernatural cause for the Great Kanto earthquake.
But yeah, this is Suikakuju, the demon that we saw before. Mm-hmm. And Amano's like, hey, this guy you're trying to kill is not the Chojin. You're going to kill all these people for no reason. And then he attacks Suikakuju and, like, tears off half his face or something.
Yeah, his beautiful face.
Yeah. So now...
Because he's that kind of character.
He's that kind of guy, yeah. So he's all messed up now. He's got, like, this metal plate over half his face. He's missing a leg. Mm-hmm. So then they fight.
Yeah, they clash like they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Kuroko and Megumi are kind of keeping tabs on the Kimi and the Gumo, who are fucking around in his house.
Yeah.
Kimi gets some, we'll call it semen on her face. And then Nikki busts into the window and grabs Kimi and takes off with her, right?
Yes.
And the Gumo's like, hey, what the fuck? And Nikki promptly licks the substance off of her face.
Yes, because
it gives him power.
The demons have already told him what's what.
You ingest blood.
And if you ingest any fluids of the Overfiend, you will gain some of his power.
Right. Which works because he gets this big, long, tentacle-like wiener.
Yep. And it starts rampaging.
Right. And he's like, hey, come to the warehouse. The warehouse, he says. Somehow, Naguma knows which one. Tonight, if you want to see Akemi again.
It's probably where all the street gangs clash, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And he jumps and leaves. Meanwhile, Amano and Suikakuju are fighting. They're flying around the city, these big glowing orbs and throwing shit at each other. And
it looks
like
fucking
that.
Cool.
Yeah, it really is a cool sequence. And that's something we haven't really talked about. The animation is good.
It's so good.
I mean, it's not quite Akira level, but it's, for what it is, it's very good.
And very detailed, too. Super early on, one of the scenes where they kill someone, and then the demon is, like, holding their heart.
Yeah.
And it is, like, super fucking detailed, and you can see it beating in their hand and everything.
And there's a lot of great shading and stuff. It's really good. So Amano is faking it. Like, he gets hit by some shrapnel and shit. And he's like, oh, no, I'm dying. Oh,
you got me.
Hey, why don't you tell me what your plan is?
And like a good villain who cares about his beautiful face, Suikakuju is just like, yeah, since you're going to die anyways, let me tell you what I'm planning.
And he's trying to tell Amano that the Chojin's going to kill everybody.
Yep. He says, you don't understand the legend. He's going to destroy all 3 realms.
Yeah.
And I need to summon the Sea Demon King again and take him out before it's too late.
Yep. But eventually Amano gets the better of him and kills him.
Yep. Seemingly.
Meanwhile, Nagumo has gone to Nikki's house looking for him and Akemi and finds his parents dead.
Yeah, and we realize, Nikki's gone a little off the rails.
Yeah. And the other demon is there, and he, like, taunts Nagumo, saying, hey, we told Nikki to kill 2 people, and he chose his parents. He's a murderer, and so are you, he tells Nagumo. And Nagumo don't like hearing that.
Nope.
Meanwhile, at the warehouse, Nikki is once again assaulting Akemi.
Yep.
That's kind of her job in this movie.
Unfortunately.
To get assaulted and cry. and Megumi and Kuroko up there waiting for Amino to show up. Once Nagumo does show up, he's kind of walking in there all nice and slow, like Clint Eastwood in the Western or something.
So it's the big showdown. Almost.
Yeah. And Nikki's taunting him, and he causes these big steel girders to fall and smash into him. Blood's everywhere. Kimmy's crying again. And she's like, oh, please, there's still time. Let's take him to the hospital.
There's little, like, steel girders through his body.
And Nikki's like, yeah, right. No, I'm not going to do that. And she's like, I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Please just save him.
Yeah. So Nikki is once again assaulting Kimmy. But then Nagumo rises up.
And we should say, this whole series makes a really weird moralistic line in its assault of people. Like, they'll let them do anything to a Kimmy except actual intercourse. Like, that's some weird, like, sacred line that if they let that cross, it messes with the plot somehow.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny.
I think there is a reason for that we'll find out shortly. So Nagumo comes up and he's changed back into his demon self.
Yep.
Into the Chojin.
The Overfiend awakens.
Yes. And he and Nikki begin to fight. But Nikki gets some of his blood.
Yep.
Because he's using like these strands of his blood as tentacles to like tear apart Nikki's body and shit. That makes Nikki stronger, and then he turns into this creepy like demonic spider looking demon thing.
It's really creepy when it's like
it's
full
scuttling
speed,
around and stuff. Yeah. So the two fight some more, and Nagumo just fucking eviscerates him.
Yeah, they kind of tease that maybe Nikki can do something, and then it's just like, no, it's the Overfiend bitch.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
So Nikki changes back into his original self and dies, and Nagumo also becomes human again, and it's like full of remorse.
And he's like, what have I done?
And then there's this funny scene because they see the charm that he had grabbed from Mikami before.
Yeah.
And Megumi is like, oh, he really did love you. Which makes the assault okay or something. Because Akemi is really tore up about this now. And it's like, don't feel sorry for him, you know?
I mean, he was just misguided, right?
He was just misguided.
No.
He loved her so much he had to assault her.
I mean, we should say, though, Megumi in general kind of has spurious morals, so...
Well, sure, everyone does in this movie. Amino shows up, and he was like, okay, what the fuck is going on?
He's like, what happened while I was gone?
Because Nagumo's just this big crybaby. He's not the big tough Chojin like he's supposed to be. He's disillusioned. So he goes back to the Beast Realm to talk with the Elder again.
He's like, you know what? Everybody stay here. Nobody do fucking anything at all.
Nobody do shit.
Nobody touch anyone. Nobody have sex. Nobody fight anyone. Wait here until I get back because I need to figure this out.
Yeah. So it goes to the Elder, and the Elder's like, okay, well, look, I'm about to die here.
This whole part is like really interesting to me, though.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I'm going to die like real soon, but I could use my magic to send you into the future and let you figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah, to see what happens with the Chojin.
And figure out if the legend is true or not.
Yeah, and I
mean, it'll kill me, but if we're wrong about this, we're all going to die anyways, so...
And Amino's like, cool, let's do it. So he sends him into the future, and Amino sees this, like, destroyed world. There's, like, overrun by demons, and...
They're fucking everybody.
Yeah, they're fucking and killing everybody.
Everything is in ruins. It's, like, full-on post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah. And then, like, everyone starts panicking and running away, and then it's the Chojin comes out, and he's huge again, and he's shooting his penis lasers at everything, blowing it up. And, you know, Amino's like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, why are you doing this, Nagumo?
But Nagumo doesn't respond. He just keeps rampaging. And then he sees some of the humans. They're like, oh, we have to flee. Let's go into Lady Ito's castle.
Yeah,
it's the only safe
castle. Yeah.
It's the only safe place.
And we see the beams, like there's some force field above it or something.
Yeah, like the beams try to like lash over it and destroy it, but there's this barrier in place.
Yeah. So Osaka Castle, something special about it. Amino's trying to get into it.
But before he can make it...
The old man croaks.
Yep.
And he goes back to the present.
And Amino is grief-stricken that his 300-year quest has all been a lie.
Yep.
And he doesn't know the whole story yet, but clearly the Overfiend is not making some beautiful utopia.
Right.
He's destroying everything.
Meanwhile, one of Suikakaju's, he's resurrected by one of his female demonic spirits.
Yeah, it's like these spirits that like do magic for him.
Yeah.
They don't really explain that much, but it's interesting.
Right. Well, I think one of them is the one that he sacrificed to that sea demon creature thing.
Oh, yeah. We see that, yeah. But she brings him back.
Brings him back, and then the queen of the Makai talks to him.
Yes, the queen of all demons.
And says, hey, I'm sending you back. Go kill the Chojin, okay? And he's like, yeah, okay, this time I'll do it.
Yeah, she's like, we were always right about this. It's about to fucking pop off. Whole demon realm's going to get wiped out if we don't stop this.
Right.
I'm going to give you a bunch of power. You're going to go try again, and you're not going to screw it up this time.
Right.
Which maybe they should have done that from the start.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Meanwhile, Akemi has finally tracked down Nagumo. He's hiding. I think he's at the school, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the offices there.
He's having a hard time dealing with this whole Chojin thing.
Yeah, he's naked, covered in blood, full of regret. But he and Akemi have a tender moment, and they begin to make love.
Yes.
However, whilst doing so, he begins to once again transform.
Yep.
Because apparently that's what triggers the Overfiend. But as he's becoming this monster, he continues to have sex with her, and she's okay, seems to be enjoying it.
I mean, she likes Nagumo.
Sure. So eventually they're having sex, and she obviously climaxes.
Yep.
And then we hear some sound effects and stuff that will be used later in the White Zombie album, famously.
Yes.
The beginning of Los Exorcisto, Devil Music Volume 1, Welcome to Planet Motherfucker. You hear this soundbite at the beginning, which is pretty cool.
I'll throw it in the show notes.
One of my favorite albums, actually. And he also uses one of the Japanese language version, one of Amino's lines. He uses that later in the album, too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
A man of good taste, I would say.
Once upon a time, anyway. So Nagumo has once again transformed into the big Overfiend, big wings, penises, and all that.
Yep, and he's rampaging.
He's rampaging. All the worlds begin to merge together.
And Akemi gets like drawn up inside him.
Yeah. She's like absorbed. So like demons are coming out of the woodwork.
And it's just not good because, those demons, they just rampage.
All they want to do is eat and fuck, right?
Yeah.
So... And the Beastmen are here too, and they're like trying to save people, also getting killed.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Beast people are like, I guess they're kind of generally noble about things.
Yeah, they seem more fond of humanity, and they're upset that the Trojans killing everybody, and they had tried to attack him, and the demons are also attacking him too, but the Trojans just like taking them all out.
Yeah, right. It's like he pokes you, and it's like 9,999 damage.
Right.
You're just done immediately.
And Amino is there, and Megumi and Kuroko are flying around, and Amino manages to save them right before they're killed by the Chojin. And then Amino hears this sound, and it's Suikakuju summoning
the Sea Demon King.
Demon King again.
For a rematch.
Yeah. So the Sea Demon comes up, and he's like this big tornado of water with eyes. A little disappointing.
Yeah.
But then we get a kaiju battle real quick. Mm-hmm. Some blows are exchanged.
But it quickly becomes apparent that the Overfiend is way too powerful.
Yes.
And he defeats the Sea Demon King.
Causing pretty much a nuclear explosion at the same time.
Yes.
But he is weakened.
He is. He's kind of stunned for a moment, and you can see his body's like regenerating slowly, but it looks like he won't get active again until it's healed up.
And we get these cool close-ups, too, of the Chojin's body. And he's like made up of like millions of dead bodies.
Yeah, all the people he's absorbed.
Yeah.
Just wild.
It's pretty cool looking. The Shin Godzilla reminded me of that.
Oh, yeah. Especially at the end when he's like multiplying or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so Suikakuju once again is mortally wounded from all this. And he tells, hey, go kill the Chojin while he's weak. He's going to kill everybody. Go do it.
He says, Amano, you're my greatest rival. You're the only one that can do this. Mm-hmm. You must go stop him.
But Amino is still like, man, no, I don't know about that.
Nagumo's kind of cool. I liked him.
Yeah, and that gives the Overfiend enough time to kind of recharge and start his assault anew.
Amino tries to reason with him.
Does no good.
No answers.
And Kuroko sacrifices himself to save Amino and Megumi.
Sad.
It's so sad. But like Amino is hit so hard, he like reverts to his beast manness.
Yeah.
Like
Which is really
all the
cool
human
to see.
facade's gone. Yeah, he's like wearing like a skull on his shoulder and stuff.
And we briefly see Megumi in that form as well.
Yeah. So, okay, so he's had it now.
Yeah, he's like, this is it. I swear I shall destroy you.
Right. I'm so pissed off now. You killed Kuroko. And he flies toward him and like goes into his freaking head.
Yeah,
right
he does that like beam barrier thing he's been doing.
Right.
And like blasts inside his head.
But now he's trapped inside the Chojin. He's like being held by arms and shit that are inside of him. But Akemi appears to him.
Yeah.
And it's like this almost like ghost spirit form of Akemi.
Yeah,
right?
she's very radiant and glowing.
Yeah, and something's talking to him, but it's not Akemi. It's her unborn child.
And yes, it reveals I am actually the Overfiend.
Yeah, I am the Chojin.
I am the Chojin. I am not born yet. I'm using this vessel to be born into the world, and
my father has to cleanse it. He has to
Yes.
destroy the world before I can make it a new one.
the only way to make things anew is to unite them all and destroy everything. And from that ruin, rebirth shall occur.
And Amino's like, well, how come you have to kill everybody? You know, it's not that bad. And
he's just
Chojin's like, I don't like it. It displeases me.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
this is some interesting like lore drop because we learned that the Chojin like made everything basically originally,
Right.
and that there was just humanity, and he left them to do whatever they wanted to do, and they developed down different paths. Those that embraced their wickedness became the demons. Those that embraced their more bestial nature became the beastmen, and then humanity continued on its own branch and delved deeply into greed.
Right.
And in the Chojin's eyes, each branch has failed. They've all become evil and wicked in their different ways, and they are basically failures. And the whole slate needs to be wiped clean, and let's start over.
I mean, you know, the Chojin's not exactly wrong.
Not as such, no. But Amano's very hurt by this, of course, because, again, he had this belief that there would be some grand, like, as great as he thought the world was, it could be even greater.
Yeah.
And now he learns that's not the case.
So Amino's almost killed again, but then Akemi kind of wakes up and gets control of herself and sends Amino out, saves him, and at the same time she begins talking to Nagumo.
Oh, but the other important lore drop, too. What Nagamo actually is the god of destruction.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, which was what Suikakuju, I guess, knew, but wasn't really
wasn't
playing all his cards.
Yeah, he wasn't communicating very well.
Maybe if he had led with that,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. That could have helped.
So Akemi is like pleading with Nagumo to kill her, and then they could die together and
Let's just both die and end this and
stop all this from happening.
save the world.
But then the Chojin pipes up again and is like, no, he can't do that.
Nope, he can't do that. He can only do what I want him to do, which is to destroy everything.
You have to live. I have to be born.
You can't die because I have to be born, so I'm going to protect you perfectly forever until that happens. And Nagamo's just going to rampage.
Yeah.
And you know what? You over there, Amano, since we spared you, you get to stick around and watch.
Yeah.
And I won't kill you until we're done.
And the Chojin says that he'll create a world that has respect and love.
Yeah, he says, I'm going to make a new world of respect and love. And once
honor.
everyone's dead, I'll revive you all in that new world.
Yeah. So then Amino's like, okay, well, I won't die. I'm going to live to see this.
Well, he's like, I swear I'm going to watch over you. And if you don't do what you say, I'm going to find a way to kill you.
Yeah. And the movie ends with Nagumo continuing to destroy the city.
Yep. And it's this very ominous, like it's a wide shot. And it's just panning through the city. And he's just kind of in the distance rampaging.
Blowing up sections, yeah.
And then the credits kind of start and the music. And it's really somber.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very apocalyptic.
And that is Legend of the Overfiend. What a movie.
It's a banger. I'm going to say that. It's a banger.
There is a lot of banging in it, yes. So, what's your thoughts on Overfiend? Do you want me to
Sure.
go? What?
Sure, yeah. So, again, I want to reiterate, I always forget it's not as extreme as you think it is. Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff we've talked about, it is very heinous.
If you're not familiar with it, it's pretty extreme. And I guess it sounds more extreme. You know, at the end of the day, it's a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
And I just cannot take it that seriously.
Right.
You know?
You got demon people and beast people,
Right.
and
yet-
they're throwing lasers at each other.
It's graphic and gory, but it's animated cells. You know, it's not... I can't get that upset about that sort of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Not that I would get too upset about most movies that are exploitive and gory.
I love the theme of this, just the concept, that big idea of these big, huge thoughts of like there's these alternate dimensions and this whole prophecy thing.
Yeah, the lore is cool.
And the kind of cool, like, big lore that goes into apocalyptic scenario. it's anime bread and butter for the 70s and 80s. It was used all the time.
Yeah.
I did want to highlight some of the other series that it definitely reminds me of, and that are probably some were influential on this, and then this itself probably in turn was influential on later ones in that vein. But
Right.
you got to go back to Go Nagai, one of the godfathers of manga, and his standout Devilman. Same thing, this teeming apocalyptic into the world, and people becoming demons to use that power to fight other demons and try to save people.
Right.
Go Nagai had a whole series of different series he did that had that same kind of theming to them. Shutendoji, Demon Lord Dante, Devil Lady, Violence Jack. So I don't know the sequel OVAs, but I did see reference in one of the later ones. It's kind of set more in that post-apocalyptic time.
Yeah.
And that made me think of Violence Jack, which is set in a post-apocalyptic setting where everything is like savage and brutal.
So that's what I tuned out. The first OVA from that, I just didn't like it. So I don't know what happens beyond that one.
And we'll find out soon because I'm going to watch them all.
Yeah, same here.
But within the last year, I talked about an anime OVA I watched because a friend recommended it, Battle Royale High School. That was from the 80s that had that same vibe of... that one, it was time travel. There was people from the future, and then there was some people who were like legendary gods, and they awaken their power and fight and clash. And some of the guys, collaborators that he worked with a lot, Ken Ishikawa, he kind of did his own take on the Devilman thing with a series called Beast Fighter: The Apocalypse. Same cloth. And I can think of so many OVAs, especially from the 80s and like early 90s, that all kind of touch on that. Like, there's a demon world and a human world, and there's all this intrigue and fighting going on.
Right.
I think of stuff like the films Wicked City, Demon City Shinjuku, and a few of the more obscure favorite OVAs of mine that don't get noticed as much. Stuff like Biohunter or Twilight of the Dark Master. All kind of in that vein of like, there's demons, there's humans, there's a conspiracy going on.
Yeah.
So that was some connections I wanted to point out.
Cool.
Going in the other direction, down the road of hentai. I've seen some. I won't dance around that. It's not something I regularly care to keep up with because, again, once you get in there, it's pretty much porn and there's not really any plots or interesting stuff going on.
Right.
So I do have a knowledge gap there that there could be interesting ones I don't know about. But if you dug this, some other roads you can run down. Obviously, the other Maeda-based series, and you'd probably want to start with La Blue Girl. I've never actually watched La Blue Girl, surprisingly.
I saw the first one.
It had a very fancy box set on DVD over here back in the day. It also sat on our Hastings for years, and no one ever bought it.
Yeah.
I know it goes way further down the road with the tentacle stuff, so
yeah,
if that's a thing that intrigued you about this film, maybe that's something to follow up on.
It had a live action version too down the road.
Wow. Okay, now I'm kind of curious how they even pulled that off. But there is one other title I wanted to mention. If we're talking about hentai that have an actual plot and a story that goes somewhere, and I give this only the lightest of recommendations in that you need to be very confident in your what you're okay with subjecting yourself to.
Sure.
But there is a hentai OVA originally based on a visual novel called Bible Black. Super popular visual novel, spawned an anime. Anime was super popular in the West. It spawned a prequel, it spawned a sequel, and all this stuff blew up. Good Lord, tread carefully if you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
As extreme as you thought this film was, this one goes way further and into things that I'll even say I myself am not a fan of and did not enjoy watching.
Same.
But the premise and the plot is an all-time banger. It's a high school, and it is a high school. If you watch the dub, they try to pass it off as a university, and it is very much not. And a young youth is exploring the basement one day that's ran down and decommissioned, and he finds a mysterious book of witchcraft. It has all these like sex magic spells and rituals in there. And this scheming witchcraft club at the school wants it for themselves for ultimate power. And it becomes this struggle over the book as their use of the spells kind of spirals everything into chaos. If you dig horror, if you dig that kind of occulty supernatural thing, it's a really good plot. But it does go much further down the road with the like porn angle compared to Urotsukidoji.
Right.
So that's like tread carefully if you want to run that way. That's all I got. I think it's cool. I think the animation is stellar. I think it's just gorgeous. And if you do go on to check out
Giant Robo: The Day the Earth Stood Still, you'll see how the progression of the quality of their animation has been. Because as good as this looks, that looks even more gorgeous.
Nice.
It's all the things you love about anime. It's great action. It's over the top. It's crazy plots. You see things that you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Mm-hmm. It's an experience.
It's a crazy experience. It's like, in some ways, it's like watching a whole like 13, 24 episode anime that's been crunched into like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it does feel rushed at times, especially because like there's a lot of things that are established that you just learn later and are like, oh, okay, sure.
Right.
Like everything with Amano and Sweet Kakuju and yeah. But it's just one of those things, man. It's stellar. It's like, it's crazy. You'll never see anything else like it. Anything that does seem like it is probably an imitator. And then the music is really cool and really epic as well.
Yeah.
That like main title theme that you get when they're given the legend, and then it comes back again at the end when you're seeing the destruction of the city.
Yeah.
It hits so good. Just incredible, incredible music.
Excellent. Yep.
So I really have nothing but praise for this. It is very weird. It is a acquired taste for sure. And some people will say, I never need to see this in my life, and that's okay.
Sure.
If you're curious and you take that leap, I think there's plenty of rewarding things to pull out of it as an entertainment piece, as a crazy over-the-top anime amalgamation of different themes and ideas.
Yeah.
And it's surprising, like, we sit here and talk about it, and I'm sure some people are listening, and they're like, this is disgusting, and you're disgusting for watching it.
Yeah.
It's hard to really put into words how much fun it is watching it.
Right.
And it's just so enjoyable, and there's always something new going on, or some new crazy revelation, or, okay, suddenly there's this guy, and he's an ultimate badass, and he's going to do this thing, and, oh, now this plot's popping off, and
Yeah.
They use their time so economically well to tell this story, which is over the top and crazy. But the way they kind of spoon feed it to you, it just goes down so well. I gave it 5 stars.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, I cannot be objective with this movie because my personal experience is just too much fun that I had with this.
And this is definitely like if you can round up some friends.
Oh, yeah. This is a great
Despite
party
the
movie.
sexual content, it's like a great group watch.
Right.
Because it's so incredulous
Maybe
the entire
because
time.
if you got really cool friends. But no, yes, seeing this the way I did, it just left a mark on me. And it actually, because I saw Akira, sure, but this made me think, oh, wow, because I was into violence, I was into gore, I was into the more extreme type stuff. So it made me start tracking down more anime. I saw like Demon City Shinjuku and some of the other ones that you mentioned. This is just a fun movie. It's just fun as hell. Also, another story that I have is that I worked at the movie warehouse for a little while here in Richmond, and we had the VHS copy of this. Ooh. And we had the Blue Girl too. But
isn't it funny too? I'm sure if you're listening and you're older like us and had video stores as a kid, so much hentai just got put out on the shelf because they were like, this is anime, whatever. Yeah. Put it in the animated section over there.
Of course, I knew.
Yeah.
But there was this one family, they had a note on their account that says, do not let the kids rent Japanimation. So every so often, he was probably like 12 or something, he would come up with like Overfiend, and I'm like, sorry, bud, if it were up to me, I'd like fucking watch it, but sorry, no.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. It's so funny. But this movie's a blast. It's just so much fun. I mean, you could take offense if you want. That's fine. I get it. But
for sure,
it's so over the top, and it's animated, and it's just like
the things that happen are never in the realm of possibility in the real world. Yeah. So it's just like whatever, man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
And I think it's okay to like exploitation. I think it's okay to like over the top crazy shit, even when sometimes the subject matter is distasteful. Because, you know what? I said it before, I'll say it again. It's not fucking real. Yeah. It's okay. I love this movie. I give it 5 stars.
Hell yeah.
It's so much fun.
Genre exposure, seal of approval.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we finally did it.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. We threatened it for a while.
And it was the perfect time. Again, if you ever had a love or an interest in this film, it's on Blu-ray. You can get it.
I do have some critiques, some minor ones. The fact that it gets a little repetitious. There's a lot of that you always get in an anime of people screaming each other's names. There's a lot of Nagumo, you know. And that gets okay.
Sure.
But, you know, yeah, it doesn't matter. 5 stars.
It's fine. It's the smoothest drink you'll ever have.
That's right.
Shoots right down.
That's right.
Now, see, I caught myself. I was going to say it shoots right down your throat, and then I stopped. These kind of films are a minefield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it.
So that was fun. We did that. Where could we possibly go next, Jason?
Okay. Well, we're gonna stay on the disturbing train.
Okay.
And we're gonna watch one of the movies that I don't think you've seen it yet. Correct me if you have.
Okay.
One of the ones that's been on my list to go to watch for a while. The original Martyrs.
Oh.
From 2008. No, you have not seen this yet, have you?
I have not. No.
Okay.
This is one of those films that, like Overfiend, has a legendary reputation. I think a lot of people consider it like one of the most extreme horror films of all time.
It was part of the new wave French new wave films. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe rightly so. We'll find out.
I know the general plot just because of its infamy, but I've never seen it, so...
The less you know going in, the better off you are.
Cool.
But basically, it's about these 2 women who share a history of abuse. They believe... One of them believes that they have found the home of their abuser from when they were a kid. And then things...
Spirals from there.
Escalate. It's like streaming. You can rent it on all the platforms, but it is streaming for free on Plex.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Easy inroad.
But,
cool. We'll dig into that next time.
Yeah. See what you think. See what the people think.
I'm excited.
I hope you like it.
So that brings us to the end of another one. Write in. Let us know what you've been watching, what you've been checking out, what you've been enjoying. What's been your post-Halloween enjoyment that's kind of pulled you through the sadness of no more Halloween times? I'd like to know.
Yeah, me too.
Mine was revisiting Weapons to show Tiffany.
Which I watched it again too.
All-time banger.
So good.
It's on HBO Max. If you got it, you need to watch it.
Fuck, it's a great.
Guarantee you need to watch it before the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's definitely like film of the year contender for me in horror.
Same.
But let us know what you've been watching. Let us know if you have any fun experiences with Urotsukidoji.
Or any negative experiences.
If you'd like to tell us why it's not worth talking about, sure. I'll entreat the argument.
Please.
But otherwise, you can reach out to us. You can hit us up on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Email us at genreexposure@gmail.com. Give us your movie recommendations. We will pepper them in as we can as we go. I think Martyrs might actually be on our recommendation list.
Maybe.
I'll double check that before next time so we can shout them out.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Cool. All that being said, you have been listening to Genre Exposure.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.